Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. And if it has been a while since I have posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that may give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we have the energy, the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune from the tarot. And I did a quick meditation just to see, okay, what's this reading going to sort of be about? We'll see. The Wheel of Fortune is good news. It's good luck for you. Your fortune is changing for the better. This is talking about it, the past, the present, and the future, sinking into the now with synchronicities to bring, good fortune your way. And it's actually three wheels turning at the same time. The past, the present, and the future. And on one of those wheels are the Hebrew letters for the name of God, which is Tetragrammaton. And this is a sacred geometric symbol talking about equalization of all forces and perfect divine order. And so this is talking about being on God's path, on God's plan, on your destiny. And then we have the battle star, and the battle star energy is talking about the Manipura, which is the solar plexus chakra. And this is one of the Pleiadian sisters, and she's flying through the sky. She is all about courage, and this is the Earth star, or the battle star. So this is about, at the diaphragm is where the solar plexus chakra is, and it's about being able to breathe. It's about making sure that you're taking deep breaths and being able to exhale and inhale evenly. And if you breathe through your nose, you actually do bring more oxygen to your brain. We do have the energy of the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is talking about cutthroat energy, like cutthroat competition. And this card has been coming up a lot in the readings lately. It's talking about some energy coming towards you that's very, people who are willing to risk it all. So it's some sort of energy coming towards you like that. And you've stood up for yourself, and it looks like you just fought these two people, and they are laying down their swords now, and they've given up. Now, this outer conflict quite often can cause inner conflict. And so the inner conflict could be in regards to, like, you could have inner conflict of your mind, of what you're going to do about this situation. Perhaps this just keeps happening, because it has been coming up in all of the readings. So not all of them, but a lot of them in the last 2 weeks. So this card could be talking about the outer conflict causing inner conflict. And that inner conflict is talking about your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind, and causing inner conflict, like arguing within yourself, basically, that, what am I going to do with this? And so your subconscious mind is the thoughts before you are about 6 or 7. This would be talking about from baby, and your subconscious mind is formed by the time you're about 6. And when you're a baby, you're like a sponge. So this would be like the people that were in charge of your care, the environment that they brought you up in, like the culture, the food you ate, how they thought about money, how they thought about work, what they did for a living, how they approached life. All of that would be heavily imprinted on you. And when we get stressed out, that's the first mind that pops up generally. That's the first thoughts that come up. And it's kind of really not the most reliable, because it's the thoughts of people who were looking after us when we were a baby and we couldn't remember it. So we also have the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind represents your spiritual needs. Now, you might consider yourself to be a human being with a soul, but from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body, and this is just your vehicle for moving around and navigating Earth. if the soul's needs are not being met, it will start arguing with the subconscious and the conscious mind. The conscious mind you have a grip on. You could say, I just fought these two dudes and I cleaned their clocks. And I'm standing here and waiting to see if they're sending anyone else. And so this is talking about having the memory and the conscious, like you remember it and you can relate it back to someone. So if you can get all three of these minds working together and through meditation and prayer, then it quiets the mind, and then you're more able to plug into what your authentic desires that are held in your heart. What is it you really want in life? And as you calm the inner conflict, sometimes you'll attract less outer conflict. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, though. And in any case, you'll feel better because your mind won't be racing after, like, for days. And then we have this energy of justice coming in. Justice has been a big feature in the readings as well. So justice, she's sitting in between these two pillars of justice. She's got the sword of justice. This is a double-edged sword. So justice is double-edged. If you are on the right side of the law, then it's a blessing. And if you're on the you've been, broken spiritual and laws of the land, then you will be having to deal with that. And quite often that would be talking about redemption from karma and karmic situations. A lot of people feel that karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect. And like if you could have direct karma from you went out and you did something and it caused suffering and struggle and possible demise to someone. And from your actions, or sometimes even from your inactions, when you could have done something but you didn't, and maybe you were even a position of power where you were responsible for doing it, but it was in some way better for you not to. There was something to gain if you didn't. And then this can also be the same scenario in indirect karma, and that quite often is our ancestors, sometimes our descendants. Our ancestors, sometimes when they cross the veil, they haven't cleaned up their shift, 100%. And so then it's kind of left for the bloodline to deal with it. And that could go back, grandma, great-grandma, great-great-grandma down the line. And this is talking also about karmic spaces. And that's just any human being can fall into a karmic space. They're very common. We're human and we're going to make mistakes. But it's just talking about clearing that energy so that for the bloodline, so that the descendants are free of it. And this energy is also talking about the thin veil between the spiritual and the physical realm. So justice always starts on the spiritual level and it's brought down to the physical. We can see her toe peeking out here. So she's ready to go as soon as she gets the word. Now, I feel it must be justice over this. And then we also have this regret and remorse here. So there could have been a situation. The Five of Cups is representing regret, remorse. If you've ever heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, it's because once the milk's in the ground, you can't change this. You have to accept this as a loss. And this person's just standing here in total regret and remorse. We have 3 cups here. In tarot, the cups represent love and quite often romantic. But this could be love of anyone or anything. And sometimes it's even love of something you love to do or be. So, but in this situation, quite often, like we have 2 cups here that there's wine spilt and then there's 1 cup of another liquid. And so this quite often can represent a third-party energy that splits up a couple. And you could stand there in regret and remorse. This might be you because your partner did it. This could be your partner because they did it. This could be the third party because they were involved, or it could be all 3. And so it's talking about, really all you can do at this point is turn around, notice, hey, I have 2 cups standing, and just be grateful. At least I have something to work with, and pick those up. Appreciate them and walk down the path, cross the bridge over the troubled waters, and go to your castle. Now, the castle in the background, it does look half standing and half dilapidated, and that's because you're going to need a good attitude to move through this. And it's talking about, is the cup half full or is the cup half empty? It's going to depend on your attitude, how soon you can recover from this energy. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, and in Tarot, Pentacles are representing wealth and health and happiness in the third dimensional world. Of course, money is a very big part of that. So the Pentacles are coins, but you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. Like the coins do represent earth, so it's matters of earth and earthly matters. But it also, this is more about lifestyle than just, if you know, the money making part of it. Money making is a big part of it. Sometimes this can be featuring like with the new moon on the 14th of July. It's in the sign of Cancer and opposed by Capricorn energy. And it's talking about, you know, how balanced is your domestic life, your personal goals with your career, your reputation, and, you know, your public image. And so that's a main feature of what's been going on with a lot of the readings. That moon is on the 14th of July, so it's pretty quick here. And this is also talking about, sometimes this can be talking about multitasking. And multitasking is a great skill to have, but we can see here how there's a little ship on a little wave and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So this is saying, you know, don't multitask to the point where you're just busy for the sake of being busy, and to the point where you're doing so much multitasking that you have more quantity of work done than quality, and then you end up doing things twice. And so it just causes you more work in the end. And it also is saying juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And I feel like, well, definitely it looks like someone did juggle their morals here. And we also have someone in cutthroat energy. Now, who this is, we're not sure as of yet. We do have the Emperor. This could be your energy. The Emperor is high-level performance. He's sitting on his throne with his armor underneath his robe, and that's because at a moment's notice, he's ready to go. And if there's an opportunity that comes by, he's going to be able to grab it. You know, he also, if he has to get up and fight, he will. He rarely actually, he doesn't end up getting involved in this kind of energy. So I don't really feel this is the Emperor, that you're the Emperor energy, and unless you're well, because this is involving you. And because the Emperor, it's the beginning, it's talking about this changing, and maybe you become more like the Emperor and you don't need to be in this energy anymore. Because the Emperor, he's an alpha male and he doesn't fight anyone unless he absolutely has to. And most of the beta males would never approach him because they know he'll clean their clock. And so, you know, this is pure alpha male, high performance energy, whatever. This is generally, he's generally an authority figure. And, you know, he's considered wise. A lot of times people will go to him for advice. Whatever field he's in, he'd be at the top. And this sometimes can talk about, you know, he can be a little bit controlling, or, you know, my way or the highway kind of thinking. But a lot of the time that's because he doesn't have patience for this bullshit. This is more like beta male energy, getting into stupid fights that you don't need to. But very, and not saying that if you have to stand up and defend yourself, that I'm talking about these people coming at you with this, oh, we're willing to risk everything to take you down. We don't know why as yet. You might know. We do have... This I can feel that this energy is already shifting. You've had to be courageous because this could be something that you've been dealing with for a while, and you know it's the battle energy, right? And it's talking about new opportunities are coming your way. We do have like this energy. It's almost like you're a black hole sucking all these opportunities in. The Seven of Cups can sometimes represent like being spoiled for choice, or making choices in life, basically. These are all opportunities available, but you're going to have to, like the black hole, you're the center of your universe. So you're going to have to put your own spin on these. Now there's like a cup of beauty here, and each one of these cups represents the good and the bad, kind of the positive and the negative of the gift. And they're wrapped up like challenges, and you have to be able to see the possibilities and how to bring the most out of it. So the gift of beauty can be a plus because, of course, it's it's beautiful to be beautiful. And life is quite often easier for beautiful people in some ways, but sometimes the inner beauty is stunted because of too much outer beauty. And then we have the shrouded figure here, and the shrouded figure is talking about what's hidden underneath that shroud. And then we have the snake energy. So for some people, they might think of the snake energy as a low-bellied, coward. And others might say, well, this is someone who's brave enough to shed their skin. We have a castle here, and a castle is a beautiful thing to have, but castles are usually built on mountains or cliffs, and they can be very isolating. And then we have the flowers, and the flowers this is again talking about opening your petals up, or are you going to close down? And the energy of the laurel wreath is sometimes that's what it's a representation of winning a battle or a competition of some sort. And at other times it can be placed on coffins. And the last one here is the dragon. And, a lot of people are afraid of dragons, but dragons also are considered to be very lucky and bringing good luck to people. My dragons are from the future. They're from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. They're not the old dragons of old, of the European lore. And then we have this card is talking about reconciliation. It can be talking about the past coming back to visit. At this time, we do have Mercury in retrograde. And Mercury in retrograde is like when communication can be a little bit off. It goes backwards. It can also talk about people from the past showing up in your life, especially if you have unfinished business with people, you didn't get closure. Sometimes that's when people from the past have a tendency when Mercury's in retrograde. It can also talk about technological problems in communication, just glitches. People, you could say something and someone misunderstands it, and then it becomes a big thing. It could be that type of energy. And this is sometimes talking about illusions from your childhood that maybe are causing some inner conflict, and maybe that's part of what needs to be healed here for the Wheel of Fortune to turn, so you can just start moving forward into letting go of this energy that we were beginning with, because we have major conflict, cutthroat, energy, risk it all, justice needing to come in. We have a disappointment in love, regret and remorse, someone juggling their morals and being really busy doing it. We do have the high performance emperor, and sometimes that can represent that you're after dealing with all of this. When the justice comes through, then you elevate to the emperor energy. And we have because these possibilities are now coming in. And this is talking about there could be some illusions from your childhood that maybe are coming up. And maybe that's part of that subconscious mind causing inner conflict. And this is, full of illusions, this picture. At first, when you look at it, you think, oh, that's two children playing with some potted plants. And there's someone watching over them in the background. But then when you look again, you realize, wait a minute, that's a gnome, and this is a little woman. And this little woman is a hag from the back, but she's a young woman from the front. And both of them don't want these flowers. The old hag's like, go away, we don't want your stupid flowers. They're not even yours to give away anyway. And the younger woman, she's being nice. She's people-pleasing. She's explaining, oh, we're in our finery and we're wearing our white gloves and we don't want to get our hands dirty. And, she should, just let them know. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation. Now, this is saying if someone from your past comes in and they've left you in this energy here, and they've been juggling their morals, causing you this type of energy, and you have all these new opportunities, are you going to be people-pleasing and take someone back into your life? Because that's going to affect whether you get justice or not. And so the flowers in these pots also, the white flowers in tarot, represent innocence. But these are not innocent flowers because they're from the nightshade family. This is Datra, and Datra is it could make children very sick if they were to ingest that, or like pets, you know. So you would not have this around children. Like you wouldn't be letting them play with it. You wouldn't let them, because if they ingest it, and even just handling it can make people sick when they're little like this. Sometimes shamans use datra in their ceremonies to create visions to empower people to heal from childhood wounds and to heal that inner child energy. So that's another illusion that's being created here. And then the person that's in the background here isn't watching over the children. This is some stranger walking by. So it's saying you might have a lot of illusions about your childhood. And maybe you're going back to visit, like it's the summer holidays. A lot of times people go and there's family reunions and high school reunions and that sort of thing. So it could be that type of energy. Maybe you're going back into your past, and maybe you're going to find out some information that will empower you, or that you might need to reflect on for a little bit to heal from. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. This card has also been coming up a lot. Excuse me. So this is talking about, you know, this person is someone that is used to being successful, because we are dealing with 7 pentacles. And in tarot, there's only 10. So this is, you know, like if you think of 10 pentacles being like billionaire, trillionaire, and then 9 being multimillionaire, and then 8 would be millionaire, and 7 would be maybe 700K. So it's not a small amount of money, and he's invested time, money, and energy into this. All of this time, money, and energy, 6 pentacles worth, and all he's getting out of it is this 1 pentacle, and he's thinking, what the heck? What is going on here? Why can't I get something? Like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. And it's because there's a lot of new energy on the planet. There's a lot of astrological, planetary, a lot of planets moved into the sign of Aries in the last 6 months in particular. And they're big hitters. So when they moved, it changed the dynamics. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's about brand new energy coming in and having to learn how to do things in new ways and embrace new ways that might be an improvement over trying to force the same old ways that were working are maybe not going to work anymore. But this has also been coming in as like maybe you put the time and energy into this, and you're used to making like you made 6 pentacles, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, you know what? I'm bored with this. Like, yeah, I made lots of coin or whatever here, but it doesn't feel satisfying to me anymore. Like, I want to do something different. And so sometimes it can be that energy as well. And then we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is talking about sitting on his throne here, and he's out on a slab of cement out in the middle of the water, and it's rough. But he's like, so he's in the eye of the storm, like he's calm. He has a cup of love he wants to hand over to his, it's a cup of love. And usually when the King of Cups offers a cup of love, it's more traditional. He's the most likely to be in a traditional marriage, and he's the most emotionally available of all the kings. He has learned how to control his emotions. He understands that, there's a time to present things and there's a time not. So this cup of love that he wants to offer, this could be, he has his right foot forward, so he's ready. But whoever he wants to offer it to, he knows maybe this could be your energy, and maybe you're feeling very, still in all this chaos here, and you have things to work through. So he's patiently waiting until the opportune time to deliver this cup. And sometimes this can also be representing your paternal bloodline. So this could represent, your father or someone you look up to as a father. It could represent your grandfather, great-grandfather, that type of energy, uncles and male cousins, brothers. If you're married, it could also represent your father-in-law and his bloodline. And we have Page of Swords energy. Page of Swords is like a breath of fresh air coming in. This is like, okay, we're finally able to breathe again. Thank you, Manipura. And this is talking about some sort of communication, information coming in. What's significant about the page is that they start working for the king and the queen young, around 7 to 14. And you might think, whoa, that's really young. But back in those days, the life expectancy was half of what it is now. So, you know, they didn't enjoy childhood and adolescence like we think of it today. But the Page of Swords, this would be a real coup for him. He would get educated. He'd be wearing fine clothing. You know, he'd be learning how the elites live. And if he stayed and he was, you know, he'd be given gradually more and more responsibility. So at the age of 21, he might even be considered for knighthood. So if he could afford his own horse. So this is his element here is the element of air, and it's talking about the mental intelligence and discipline of the mind. And it's talking like he knows what the logical question is, but he wants to find he wants to think outside of the box, so he's looking away from his logic now, and he's thinking outside the box. What is a creative solution? He's using his intuition because he wants a creative solution to the problem. And this, the pages, you know, they would always be male back in those days, but this could be a female. And just remember, any of the characters in tarot, they are not gender specific, so they could represent masculine or feminine energy. So these days, this could be a woman in, you know, or a young woman in her masculine energy, and the information being delivered would not probably be in person. It's not that often that it is in person these days. It's more likely to be a phone call, a text message, an email, maybe something arrives in the post. It could be documents. It could be, you could be on social media, get a message, you know, reply and go to an event then that's posted there. Then you meet people in person that maybe will have the answers that you're looking for whatever, or the information, communication that you need. It's also saying pay attention to what's going on in the world at the top of the pyramid, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. It can be painful to watch the news these days, I know, but like it's a really good idea, because whatever's happening at the top is definitely trickling down to the rest of the pyramid, and vice versa. As above, so below, and so below as above. And so this is talking about some information or communication coming in. And what's significant is it could be, especially with this card here, and we were talking about reunions, etc. This could be information about something that happened when you were in elementary school, high school, you know, under 21, just starting out in the workforce or going to college or university. It could be about someone that you met during that time, or, you know, bump into someone from that time frame. So that it's sitting right on the King of Cups here, and like this energy of maybe the King of Cups is feeling a little bit like dissatisfied. I need to add love to my life. I have enough coin. I want to add, I want my lifestyle to change. I want to have a breath of fresh air. I want to have some romance. I want to feel good, you know, I want to feel young again, you know, that type of energy. So, and sometimes this Page of Swords can represent that energy, you know, an epiphany. That's, you know, exactly what I need to do. You know how if you think about something, you might even have like someone's name on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite grab it, and then it hits you when you're not thinking about it. You're just doing dishes or something, and the next thing you know, that's the name. That's what I was thinking about. So it's that aha moment sometimes is what this can represent, a breath of fresh air. And then we have the Hermit energy. So the Hermit is talking about after the dark night of a soul, which would be this energy here, that, you know, when your foundation is shaken and you're just like having trouble moving through it, like, you know, kind of like you need to, but you just don't feel like, you just can't make yourself do it, or you're still feeling down, whatever that is. The Hermit he climbs a mountain so that he can be alone, and he wants to, he climbs to the top so he can isolate himself. And when his lantern is full of the energy of the North Star, after conferring with the God, with the Most High, then he comes down, his rod is golden here, comes down from the mountain, and that's when he takes action. And so this is doing some of that discipline of the mind. That's exactly what you need to do in a situation like this. Come on, cards, they don't want to let go. Okay, the Hangman. Yeah, so this is talking about taking action now after isolating. The Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge until he is red, his aura gets bright, just like the North Star here. And then he knows, oh, okay, I've got it. He's looked at it from the situation from every single angle. And now he has reached a decision and, okay, this is what I'm going to take action and do. And then we have the Hierophant coming in. And the Hierophant is talking about this justice now. See, as soon as he decides he's going to take action and he's figured out what action that is, that's when the Hierophant shows up. The universe likes to see action. And so the Hierophant has his hand in the right, his right hand is in the form of a blessing. And just like the Justice here in the right hand. And this is saying that, the Hierophant is responsible for bringing the justice down from the spiritual realm into the physical world. So this could talk about the Hierophant being representing the traditional structure of religious churches, etc. If you belong to a religion or you go to church and you have this could represent popes, bishops, cardinals, it could be rabbis and gurus, whatever your religion is, bringing that energy down. And then also it could represent more of us, people who are more on spiritual or meditation energy, and they pray and meditate and connect with the divine, without the intermediary. And then that energy being brought down to the physical structures of the court systems of the land. So talking about, like physical justice, like justice in the courts. And look at this, and that's when the Lover shows up. Interesting energy. So we've got, as soon as like this, and this could be the reward that God's bringing in for you. This is talking, the sun is shining on this. This is God saying, look, it's time to take this cup of love. You're going to feel like a kid again. You're going to love this energy. This person is perfect for you. This may be someone you don't know, because there's a cloud in between them representing that. It might be someone that you know from your childhood or from the past. This energy also of the page energy could be talking about maybe someone that you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, or even 21 years. Or it could be someone like maybe you go to the reunion and you bump into someone you haven't seen since kindergarten. And you're like, woo, you grew up. And you're really attracted. And then that's the new love that comes in. And it's like the perfect person for you. And this could be representing the justice that comes in, is having that love after having taken the time and put your energy and having the courage to really take a look at yourself and say, okay, what do I need to change about the way I approach love? And what can I do to, what can I change within myself to be able to have this love that I actually do want? And lay down the burdens. So this is talking, this is when someone has, this is a card of, it has two meanings basically, but they're together. This is someone who's carrying a heavy load and has been carrying a heavy load for a long time. The actions that you've taken, growing into these wands, and this is the fruits of your labor. Now, this could be just heavy with all fruits of your labor, and you're almost home to harvest it and sort through it, and then be able to move forward and, enjoy what you have worked for. Now, some of these might be burdens that you're carrying that belong to other people. And this is saying you need to put those, if justice is coming in, you need to put the burdens that you're carrying for other people down. You can't be carrying them, because you're going to get hit with the karma instead of getting the reward that you want. Lay down any burdens that don't belong to you. Just let go of them in the field. This person is too heavy. He's about to quit. Like, look how tired he is. And it's saying, you know, there's a saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's because you're so up close and personal with the details that you can't see the big picture anymore. He doesn't realize how close he is to home. He's, you know, 10 minutes from his home. If he lays down the burdens that he's carrying, then he will be able to move forward. And sometimes this can also say, again, that maybe you need to do things slightly differently. Maybe you could delegate some of this burden to other people so that you could chill out a little bit and enjoy this new love coming in. And, you know, these do also represent, the wands are about passionate action. So you're going to want your energy. So that's at the top of the pyramid. So this is talking about dealing with a lot of cutthroat energy coming at you and always having to defend yourself. And in the wings, there's this King of Cups waiting, but you're not likely to take his offer because you're too busy defending yourself. And so this is about, you know, asking for justice. You maybe have just been through this situation and you have regret and remorse and you're upset and nothing seems to be really working out the way you want it to. And so this is about taking the time then to climb the mountain and ask God, like, what do I need to do? And God says, hey, you need to take this cup from this king. I'm sending this new lover for you. It's going to be full of passion. You need to put down any burdens that don't belong to you so that you have the energy for this. And the Hierophant is coming in and saying, yes, I'm already working on it. The sword of justice is about to do its thing. And this is about, you know, from taking the time to really heal and take the time to decide, okay, which is the strongest action for me, and maybe not giving in and saying, being a people pleaser and saying yes to people when you really don't want to say yes to them, and not taking someone from the past back and giving them another chance. That's up to you, but like the new love is the one that's going to be the most fulfilling. Then all these opportunities come up and you can work on it together. And this could be the energy of the Emperor, you know, and the Emperor is high-level performance. He showed up here, you know, as a cornerstone of the reading. So, and the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. And, you know, this is talking about your solar plexus is like the gateway to moving from like the survival chakras into the heart, and really going after your heart's desires instead of just worrying about, you know, your survival, basically. I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want clarification. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you so much for your time and energy. All your likes, comments, subscribes, I really appreciate them all. It's empowering me to build my channel. And I'm going to clarify with my oracle. This is Tales from the Vector. I started in 2007. In 2020, I had 64 paintings. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and the numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in the oracle. So this energy, in the description box below, I will put the numbers in the order they appear, and then you can look them up if you want to. The Libra energy, this is talking about being mature now enough to get married. So this could be representing you could anticipate a much better outcome with this relationship because you're mature enough to deal with it. Maybe your relationship in the past where this regret and remorse happened was because you weren't mature enough. That's been coming up in a lot of the readings. A lot of times people don't realize, you know, Libra is when you are an adult and you're ready to take on the responsibility and the commitment of marriage and raising a family and all that entails. And so you can anticipate a stronger future with this King of Cups and let go of the expectations of how it's supposed to be. You have a much better idea. What the heck? It's okay. It's okay, sweetheart. Okay, are we still going here? Yes, we are. I apologize for that. Apparently there's an amber alert out and they have to scare the hell out of people like that. It's okay. It's okay. Good Lord. I hope that didn't scare you. What was I talking about that happened? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah, like, I don't know how to, I'm going to have to discover how to turn that off in my camera. Just want to make sure this is still, yeah, it's still recording. I do apologize for that. Good Lord. My heart is just pounding in. It's okay. Did that scare you, Stella? Do you want to come up here? You were sound asleep, hey? I apologize for that. The surrender is talking about a psychic cleanse. And then we have anger is talking about the karmic space of anger. I'm kind of pissed off right now. You know, like they put these alerts out, but my God, what are you going to do that like at, you know, almost 10 o'clock at night when people are getting ready for bed and everybody's freaked out? And I don't know, I'm going to look into, I'll ask Suri how to turn that damn thing off. I don't mind knowing about the children that are, it was an Amber Alert earlier that came out, but I do apologize. I did not, like, if you're watching this, you're probably, too. But it's interesting when those alarms go off. We were talking about the road to hell. So don't go down that road. And then this is about anger, the gift that keeps on giving. So it's passed down from one generation to the next. And then we have going on a foolish journey. That was what I was talking about here, about expectations. Expectations will always create limitations. And if you expect, like, marriage and, you know, starting a family to be a real, you know, oh, it's just easy, and how hard can it be? It can be really hard. If you've ever been married and you've raised children, you know what I'm talking about. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is talking about synchronicity. So again, we have two Wheel of Fortunes here, and this Wheel of Fortune is sitting on the Hermit. So it's about really, as you get your shift together, the universe is going, well, there's somebody that is ready to move forward in a strong way. And then we have the Aries energy. And the Aries energy is talking about being versus doing. So Aries is, you know, as I said, there was a lot of signs that showed up in the, a lot of planets that moved into the sign of Aries. So there's a lot of new energy out there on the planet right now. And so this is talking about, you know, they don't call you a human doing, they call you a human being. So you need to have a balance also with this energy, you know, where you're juggling of how much do you do and how much are you allowing yourself to be. And then we have justice coming in again. So justice has been coming in my readings. We've had the Wheel of Fortune. That was in last night's reading as well. We had, now we have justice in here twice again. And this justice is sitting on, this is God saying that this is your justice for what happened here in this energy. I feel it was more than just like a third party energy. It could have there could be a lot more to it, but you would know if you went through it. And then we have the Taurus energy, and that's been coming up a lot in the readings as well. So it's really, the Taurus energy is talking about the Pentacle energy. It's talking about the give and take in life. And it's also Venus, it rules Taurus, and Venus also rules Libra. And there was, maybe there's an astrological event happening with Venus. I'll have to check that out to see for the next round of astrological insights that I do. I think Venus was moving into a different sign, actually, when I think about it. When I have the horoscope signs come up in my collective readings, I'm not talking about the energy of... you know, like individuals. I'm talking about the sign itself. And so this energy is talking about that. It's talking about how can we learn from each of the signs and what can we learn from them. If you ever get your birth chart done, you'll find you have them all in there somewhere. And you can learn a lot about other people and yourself in this way. Okay, once again, I do apologize. Like, I'm still like, oh, like I'm going to look into how I can stop that phone from doing that again. I was not expecting that. So I hope it didn't scare you too badly. And thank you for your patience in that. And I will be back with another reading again for you tomorrow. Bye for now.